Good morning, dears. How are you today, Miss? Today we will continue talking about percents, fractions, decimals, how to convert between them. But let's say we will take special cases of percents that have actually that are greater than 100% or less than 1%. Now, before, let's remember together the meaning of percent. Percent actually it's a ratio that compares a number to 100. So as you can notice that we have always in percent, we have always 100 in denominator if we write it actually as a fraction. Now if the number in the numerator is greater than 100, we will say that we have a percent that is greater than 100. Okay, if the number in the numerator is less than 1, it means it's between 0 and 1. And to write a number between 0 and 1, actually it should be what? A decimal, because we are talking about decimals or fractions between 0 and 1. So it will be for sure, we will see about it, it's less than 1%. Now, to understand it more, let's start immediately solving example. Let's write 110% as a decimal and as a fraction. First, to write it as a decimal, easily I just have to move the decimal point, the invisible decimal point, which is to the right, to the end right, to the left, okay, move it to the left 2 digits. Okay, then move the symbol, the percent symbol. So I will move it to the left 2 digits, move it 2 digits to the left, then move the decimal, the percent symbol. If I want to write it as a fraction, I will write it as a fraction which has a denominator of 100. So it will be 110 over 100, then simplify it. Here I can just, zeros to the end right here, to the right end here, can cancel or deducted by each other. Okay, then it will be 11 over 10. Now, you can notice always for percents that are greater than 100, the denominator is less than the numerator. Always numerator is more than the denominator. So to find or to write it as a fraction, for sure it will be actually mixed number, not a fraction. Now to write this as a mixed number, we will ask ourselves how many tens in 11? We have 1 tens, so we will put 1 to the left as a whole number. Then we will write the remainder or the difference of 11 between 11 and 10. It means 11 minus 10, it's 1 over, we will keep the, the denominator as it. So it will be 1, as you can see here, 1 and 1/10 or 1 over 10. Okay, now let's take another example in which we have percents less than 1%. As I said before, if I'm talking about percents that are less than 1%, for sure you will see decimals. You will see decimal point and you will see decimals. Okay, now let's rewrite this 0.7% as a decimal and as a fraction. Now first, to write it as a decimal, as we said before, easily just move the decimal points. Since we have here decimal points, so we just have to move it, okay, to the left 2 digits. So add 2 zeros to its left side. Okay, so as you can notice here, the decimal point was here before 7. I add 2 zeros, then I put the decimal point, and how can we read this? This is 7 thousandths. Okay, now to write it as a fraction, I will write it first as 7/10 or 0.7 over 100. Because and I want to remove or move the decimal point is percent symbol, so it will be 0.7 over 100. Now this, then I have to simplify it, in which I don't want to see decimal point. Okay, I want it as a fraction without decimal point. Now, to write, decimal as a fraction, just you have to count how many digits to the right of the decimal point. Okay, it's only one digit, which is 7. So you will add 1 0 to the you will add 1 0 to the denominator and remove the decimal point. So it will be 7 over 1000. Don't ask me, Miss, where will this 0 will be, where it will go, because actually, Miss, we said before this 0 is meaningless. It has no meaning, no value. Okay, 0 is to the left of, the decimals or numbers, it has no value. So you can just move it. So it will be 7 over 1000. Or we can say, if you want to move the decimal point, okay, you have to multiply it by 10. Why 10? Because it has only one digit to the right, so that you will move it to the right one digit, so it will be 7. But to keep this fraction equivalent, when you multiply by 10, you have to divide by 10, so it will be 100 times 10, it will be 1000. Or as I said before, easily, just do that. Remove the decimal points and count how many digits to the right of the decimal points. 1 digit, so just add 1 0 to the right of 100 in the denominator. So this will be 7 over 1000. Okay, 7 over 1000. Now, try to solve this, please. 125%, and here should be percent, and 0.35%. Write it now, and we will solve it after we finish, beside the other examples in the last, in the last slide. Now, but before we write it or you solve it, I want you to know how to convert mixed numbers as a percent. Now, what do you think? What will be the mixed number when you write it as a fraction? As a decimal? As a percent? Actually, it will be a percent that are greater than 100%. How? So how you will convert it? Actually, as you can see here, the best way is to just make long division for the fraction we have, 7 over 8. Okay, just you have to make long division and forget about the 1. The 1 is a whole number. It's not, decimal. So you will just keep it and put it to the right, to the left of the decimal point. Okay, or write it as first person. So you just will write it as decimal or percent. Now, 1 and 7 over 8, I will just divide 7 by 8. Okay, so 7 divided by 8 will equals, after long division, will equals to 0.875 or 875 thousandths. Okay, then you will add 1. Okay, so it will be 1.875 thousandths. This is, we write it as a decimal, but actually we want now to convert it to percent. Okay, so to convert it into percent, we will just move it. Look, if you want to convert it into percent, so you will multiply it by 100 and add the percent symbol to say that it's divided by 100. So move it to the right 2 digits, to the right 2 digits, and put the percent symbol. So we will move it to the right 2 digits, but here, of course, we have to write the percent symbol. Okay, to the right. We must add it. Okay, now I want you now to try to solve this before we go and solve the examples in the book. And don't forget to solve the 125% and 0.35%. Okay, now let's go and try to solve it together in the class.